What's up? What's up? What up? The original player from the Himalayas. Marty Marr dropped 29 on the LA Clippers. 16 of those points came in the first half. He earned his mama biscuits tonight. He's going to get a big platter of his delicious mama's biscuits. And if you didn't know no good, if you didn't know no good, now you know the good. And that is that the Suns beat the Clippers in dramatic fashion as Marty Marr, aka Cameron Payne, dropped 29 points and dished, I think, 9 assists. And, look, I just got to address something, man. I don't understand what it is with Tyronn Lue and and the Clippers' inability. You got to blame on the coach. Their inability to contain. Look, you're not going to stop a great player. So I get it to a degree with Luka Doncic and Donovan Mitchell. They're going to have those type of games. But the fact that in almost every game in the first round, Luka Doncic went off. I think he averaged 35 points and 10 assists. Only the second time that's happened in a playoff series in history. These guys are having historic performances against the Clippers. Okay, if the Dallas Mavericks and the Jazz were better overall teams and toughness and had experience and wherewithal, the Clippers would be in trouble. Last series, okay, the first 3 games or so, Donovan Mitchell was destroying them. They got better, okay, with keeping Donovan Mitchell in check. Some of it was because of Donovan Mitchell being young and thinking he only can help the team with shooting. But the Suns present a different dilemma. They're not a team that's just ball dominated by one guy. And the fact that the Clippers blew a great opportunity to win both of these games at home with Chris Paul convalescing from the illness, right? So you lose game one, but at least the excuse is Devin Booker got 40. Once again, one guy destroying your fucking team. Okay, this game, Devin Booker broke his nose, wasn't right, didn't shoot well, although he did hit a big pull-up mid-range jumper very late in the game. The next to last bucket, I think, for Phoenix. He only shot 5 for 16 or 6 for 17 or something like that. So you would think a game where Booker shoots 6 for 17 and you don't have Chris Paul, they should at least come away with a split. But no, defensive breakdown at the end where they throw a lob pass to, well, the inbound pass to DeAndre Ayton for the game winner. Now, there was zero point 0.7 seconds determined after that, but the game was essentially over after that. No goaltending, nothing. And Ayton had a hell of a goddamn game. Let me see if I can pull up some of these numbers. I know Marty Marr had 29 points and 9 assists. Let's see. Ayton had 24 points and 14 rebounds. He destroyed Zubac, who had 14-11, but for all intents and purposes, he destroyed Zubac. Devin Booker had 20 points, but it was a hard-fought 20 points. But look, man, it's one thing to get eaten up by Luka Doncic. It's one thing to get eaten up by Donovan Mitchell, but Cameron Payne, this is the same dude that was backing up Russell Westbrook 4 years ago. The dude I used to look at and be like, hey, man, that dude looked like Fievel from Fievel America West and shit. And he do look like Marty Marr. Shout out to 78. He looks like Marty Marr and shit. You know what I'm saying? But the Clippers let Marty Marr and I think DeAndre Ayton looked like Eddie Winslow, man. They let Martin Payne and Eddie Winslow just dominate them, man. Man, Jesus Christ, man. Um, Clippers, look, Paul George had 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He missed 2 big free throws down the stretch. Look, I'm not going to kill him, Paul George, um, like some people might, because he had a bad game, but he did make some big shots down the stretch. He made a big mistake. Shout out to Ticket TV because he said this on his stream, and I agree with this. So if you're not subscribed to Ticket TV, please subscribe to him. What would have been the game winner by Paul George? He shot it too early, and that left too much time on the clock, which set up this situation where they were able to win it on a lob entry pass, well, a lob pass on the inbounds to DeAndre Ayton. That wouldn't have happened, most likely, if Paul George had left maybe 2 seconds left on the clock. They probably would have ran some play and have been rushed and, probably would have missed it. But the big thing with Paul George, though, man, and people just going to kill him for it because it feeds into that narrative. He's a choke artist. People, I mean, that's just what people think. When it comes to ability, Paul George is top 7 in my opinion. Like as a player, as far as ability, he's top 6, 7 at least. But it's the thing between the ears that you question about Paul George. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you question his attitude. His ability, no. But sometimes you do question his mind, his mental toughness at times, you know. But, you know, uh you know, a lot of this has to do with just I don't know, man. Reggie Jackson had 19. Patrick Beverly, he did a pretty good job on Devin Booker in this game. Um, but it comes to the Clippers, man, and the fact that they keep doing this, man, they keep going down 0-2 to teams, and Phoenix, from a report that I just saw, right, the Phoenix Suns are very optimistic that Chris Paul is coming back for Game 3. Now, you're asking a tall order. It'd be one thing if the Clippers won both these games or at least split. But now you're down 2-0. So now the Clippers have to win 4 out of the next 5 games to win this series. You're asking a tall order. Now you've done it against the Mavericks. You've done it against Utah. But now you're trying to do this against Phoenix. And each team gets progressively better. That shit's going to catch up with you. I'm not saying this series is over by any stretch of the imagination. Because all the Clippers got to do is hold their home court and they're right back in it. But if Phoenix can sneak one of these next 2 games, they can pick one of these games away. Now the pressure is really on the Clippers because you should have taken care of this situation without Paul George. When I found out that the Clippers, when I found out that Paul George last week was going to be out for at least 2 to 3 games, I said to myself, Phoenix probably going to lose. But they've played a lot better and been a much more resilient team than I thought and gave them credit for. Now you're adding Chris Paul. And they're not, like I said before, they're not like a team that has one guy that dominates the ball. Now it's going to be even more opened up. And I don't know, man. I'm not counting the Clippers out, but if Phoenix wins Game 3, it's over. So the pressure is on the Clippers to take care of Game 3. So that's it, man. Old Marty Marr, old boy, came through. Oh my God, man. When you got Cameron Payne having career nights against you, man, it's really something. Tyronn Lue, I think, might be the worst coach in the NBA, man. Because look, if you put Rick Carlisle or Mark Jackson or Phil Jackson, if you put any of those guys at the helm of this Clippers team, they would have probably, they might have possibly swept Dallas or at least beat them 4-1. They would have beaten the Utah Jazz 4-1 or 4-2, and they probably would have won both of these games. It's Tyronn Lue. He's a horrible fucking coach, man. But tell me what you guys think.